joined once again by the fantastic Carl. Hi, Carl.
Hi, Ben. How's it going?
Great. I'm doing wonderful.
Excellent.
Um, oh, I gotta. Let's see. Switch this over. Oh no, it's a surprise. Don't show it. Okay.
I feel like you tipped everyone off there if they were paying
No, they
attention.
weren't paying attention. They were getting
That's
their popcorn right now.
most
So
likely.
yeah. Um, we're here to talk power rankings, everybody's favorite. And I brought Carl, as maybe I mentioned. Hi, Carl.
Hello again, Ben.
Excellent. All right. We'll do a quick rundown here. Who are we going to talk about today? Well, let's look at the way out of order power rankings and see what we're working with. It's not 12. No. Oh yeah, we talked about Cody. We talked
Huh.
about Ryan. The red line, of course, means playoffs. We talked about Dylon. We talked about Walker. Uh-oh. We're talking about the goats today, who is apparently coming in at number 3. Um, for comparison, Fantasy Pros here has him at 3. Wow, that's convenient. Um, there's all that. This makes a lot of sense, I'm sure, if you're looking at it. And ESPN has him at 2. So I feel like 3 is pretty reasonable. Um, and Matt's been a pretty reasonable owner up to this point. I think he's trended in the right direction. So year one, he went 6-9. I think he ended up finishing in last place because of some playoff fuckery. The next year, he finished in sixth place, missing the playoffs. And then last year, he was the fourth seed. So he's on the way up. I think third fits. So,
Yeah.
but that's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about the draft this year. Carl?
Yeah.
Okay, you're still there. All right.
I'm still here. I was just waiting,
All right.
patiently
Uh,
waiting.
we're going to tweak things a little bit in the effort of trying to not make this a 30-minute video. So we'll still talk about the draft in general, but instead of breaking down every single player, we're just going to kind of do a loved and loathed out of each batch of rounds. So opening up rounds 1 through 6, we've got McCaffrey, Chris Olave, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Swift, Kyle Pitts, Max Crosby. Um, for loved, I said taking McCaffrey fourth overall. I mean, hard to argue with the fall for who I think is the number one player in fantasy this year and probably next year. I mean, you'd have to think anyway, assuming there's no catastrophic injuries. So, uh, yeah, he's old, 28, 29 years old this year, but he kind of seems Derrick Henry esque, genetic freak. Doesn't really show any signs of slowing down up to this point. So if you look at like a 2-year contract for Christian McCaffrey, I think that's pretty good, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't. I mean, it's kind of the obvious one. So I'd rather pick someone else to love. But how can you not pick McCaffrey? Like you said, I mean, guy easily could have gone any of the 3 picks before. So getting him at fourth overall, it's a hell of a pick. Easy one to love. Honestly, most of these top 6 are, at the very least, really easy to like. Um, I don't know if there's. It's hard for me to pick one to hate. Um, I could see an argument against Max Crosby just because defensive line this early, but that's getting real picky. Um, Kyle Pitts, you know I like the pick. You don't know for sure what you're going to get from that guy. He still hasn't quite put the talent together, but I mean, I love the pick there. Yeah, there's not really an obvious hate for me. I know who you're going to pick, so I'll let you go ahead.
I actually looked at it a little closer today, and I settled on Devonte Adams.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, maybe a little bit hot takey. Um, here's the thing: I heard this fantastic stat. Right, in the last decade, there have been 63 wide receivers, 31 and older, And in the last decade, only 8 have finished inside the top 12 at the wide receiver position.
Wow.
So now,
And most of them probably had a quarterback.
yeah. And granted, we're really not expecting him to be a top 12 receiver going in the third round, right? But
True.
I think, more than anything, it just kind of, you have to think the decline is settling in at this point. And with Minshew as your quarterback, I don't know
Or that
what upside there
that
is.
Aiden thing, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, or that Aiden thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, you surprised me there, Ben. I could have sworn that you were going to go with DeAndre Swift. So
I was initially going to go that route, but I settled on old ass wide receiver. So
that's fair. That's fair enough.
all right. Anything else you want to say out of the first 6 here? Or should we keep on trucking?
We've at least said the name of everyone else, so I'm just going to say Chris Olave. It's a good pick. Good player.
Good. I like that.
Yeah.
Solid point.
Didn't want him to feel left out.
We appreciate it. All right. Middle rounds. Let me click this guy over. And here. So we went Brandon Ayuk, Josh Hines Allen. We've got to hyphenate that now. That's been updated. Aziz Al-Shair, Minka Fitzpatrick, Najee Harris, and Levante David. So, loved and loathed. Where do you want to go?
I think I'm going to go ahead and love Ayuk. I think he's a damn good player. We'll kind of see how much longer he's a Niner. So that will either be great or terrible for him. It's genuinely really hard to say. But I think for this year, at least, it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. I think he's going to be a Niner this year. I think he's a damn good player. He's pretty clearly I'd say probably third weapon in that offense. But he might be the best pure wide receiver in that offense.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
I like the Ayuk pick.
Yeah, I piggybacking on that. I said Ayuk. I kind of hedged and I said Ayuk and Harris because as much as I didn't love Devontae Adams and I'm not a huge DeAndre Swift fan, to come back in the middle rounds and grab guys like Ayuk and Harris to pair up with those two, I think that was really smart. So, I kind of combo picked on that one.
Fair enough.
Anything?
I will say I do like Najee where he's picked. I'm not a big fan of Najee as I don't think he's a great player. I don't think he's a great fantasy player, but in the 11th round, the presumptive starter running back is always going to be a good pick.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, the value probably more than anything, but
not sure I have a true loathe here either. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Aziz Al-Shair. I kind of feel like should have been able to do a little bit better at linebacker there, but that's picking some nits.
I went with one of the other defensive guys. I went Minka. Looking at the last few years for Minka, his tackle numbers have decreased the past 2 seasons now. Last year, he only had 3 pass breakups. He had 11 the year before that. He had a bunch of picks the year before that as well. So it looks like kind of those big game-changing plays are going by the wayside as well as tackles. So at this point, it just feels like you're paying for name recognition more than anything. So that was my big takeaway on that one. But, he's a DB. I just don't like DBs in general.
You just hate DBs.
Yeah, I know. That's the DB in me.
Clearly.
All right. Let's zip on to the final chunk here. There's a lot of names. Should I read all these names?
Yeah, I'll read them all.
Okay. Caleb Williams, the rookie. Big Bob Spillane, the linebacker. Reed Blankenship, who is a human. Mike Williams, who has one leg. Carl Granderson, Are you guys related?
Might be, but he spells it differently.
Oh, yeah. Kendre Miller, Khalil Shakir, Caden Ellis. Did you know there are 4 Ellis brothers in the NFL right now? I'm sorry, I've got a lot of side notes here. Josh Downs, Trevor Lawrence, Keaton Mitchell, and Boye Mafe. All right.
Do you know that we just froze for a minute there?
Did you freeze?
I did.
Did I freeze?
Well, you froze first.
Oh, no.
And things went all weird for a second.
Where did
you did that the other day with Ryan, too.
Did it? Oh, son of a bitch.
You can edit this shit, right?
Not really, but we're rolling with it.
Okay, fuck it. Hi, guys. This is pretty unprofessional.
And take it from the top. Hey, Carl, welcome. I'm kidding. We're not going to do that.
All right. Where the fuck were we? Kendre Miller, Khalil Shakir. Continue from there, Ben.
Okay, Caden Ellis. Did you know that there are 4 Ellis brothers in the NFL right now?
Are they actually brothers? Or they just share, or are they just the same last name?
They're actually brothers.
Well, I'll be damned.
Josh Downs, who is now on my team, so something happened.
Weird.
Trevor Lawrence, Keaton Mitchell, and Boye Mafe.
All right.
So there's a lot of players there.
There's a lot.
We're really getting to some hard hitting insight now, Carl. Loved and loathed. What are you feeling?
Well, for one thing, it's hard to loathe anyone in the second half of the draft, right? You know, because I mean, you just don't necessarily expect that much from any of them. Yeah, I just feel like there's a couple guys here that are probably not going to be on the team come week 3.
Right.
You know, but again, like whatever, right? It's just that's just the nature of the second half.
100%.
The nature of the last 5 picks. Like, yeah, they're probably not going to be around.
That's the churn. You got to love that.
Yeah, you know, gotta say, switching over to the love side, I kind of love that his likely starter, at least for the first couple weeks, a quarterback, came in the 22nd round. I do really like snagging Caleb Williams, because if that kid turns out to be what seems like just about everyone thinks he can be, that's going to be a hell of a pick. You know, put him under contract and lock in your quarterback for the next 4 years potentially. So it's a damn good pick.
Yeah.
There's a few other like really good upside type of picks here, boom or bust type of things like Mike Williams. You know, if he gets that leg back, you know,
we're hoping.
Yeah. What do you got?
You kind of you sniped me a little bit. I said my love out of this one was pairing up the 2 quarterbacks this late. So, I mean, because you had what 14 rounds before that to fill out most of your roster, and you still came away with a pretty good viable starting quarterback tandem in the back end of the draft. I thought that was awesome. So yeah, kudos on that. I love the vet rookie combo. My loathe, though, in an ironic twist, was Trevor Lawrence. I just don't really like Trevor Lawrence. I feel like if you were going to go with the vet QB, why not go with someone maybe a little bit more reliable or trustworthy, I guess, like Kirk Cousins? I mean,
I was just going to say Cousins was available.
Right. Or, we even got A-Rod floating around on the waiver wire, I think, that would make a pretty good dart throw for a guy to, I don't know. It's not necessarily that just Trevor Lawrence just doesn't really feel that great.
It's the hair in the face. He's just not a likable dude.
He looks, he's too cute. He's too cute for a quarterback, I think.
He's like Sunshine from Remember the Titans, but without the personality.
Yes, exactly. Again, I love the strategy. The 2 quarterbacks pair the vet and the rookie, but it's just the vet that is not my favorite.
Just would have gone for a different vet.
Yeah, right.
That's fair. I can get behind that. Yeah.
Any other randos to throw out here in the last batch of players?
Not really, as a matter of fact. I mean, I'd kind of like to have more to say, but just all in all, I think it's a really good, solid team. It's got some pretty good depth. It's got, good upside. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add. Like, there's some upside on his sitting on his bench right now. There's also some room for a little bit of churning, which one needs. It's like, yeah, I think all in all, it's a pretty solid roster. He had a good draft.
Right. That was my biggest takeaway. More than anything was, yeah, there's just no holes. Right. Like, I don't look at this and go, ooh, if you could do, X, Y, and Z, you'd be in much better shape. It's like these guys are all legit starters. I'm not seeing like, oh, you've only got 3 running backs on your team, or anything like that. It's like
That's exactly what I was just thinking of too.
It's like everything is, pretty well tucked away and lined up. So, yeah, really, I think you're in a good spot. And I do feel like third is not, out of the realm of possibilities.
No, I think it's pretty fair.
Right. If you hit on guys like Caleb Williams and, maybe one of these younger running backs, it could go even up from there. So,
right.
Yeah, good draft.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to just throw out, just for fun fact, because I stumbled across an article earlier today talking about it was like 6 guys that are potential league winners type of thing, right? And obviously that's going for a little bit deeper names. Like that's not fucking McCaffrey, because how boring would that article be?
Right.
But 2 of the names, just kind of scanning through here, 2 of the names were Khalil Shakir and Demario Douglas, both currently on Matt's roster. So,
boom! Look at that.
So that may be something.
Yeah, I
for
really,
what it's worth.
I like it a lot. So,
Yeah.
Kudos to the goats. And yeah, kudos to us because I think we did this in under 20 minutes. So
I think we did.
Ha.
Is he going to get grades, or just ranked?
No, we're just ranking.
All right, beautiful.
In the in the idea of expediting this process, I cut the grades.
All right, I like it.
All right. Well, until next time in our next review, thanks for checking in. You guys have a great night.
See you guys.